3, 2, 1. Welcome back to SourceFedNERD. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It's Nerd's New Breakdown. Nailed it with the pronunciation. This is the show where 2 or 3 lovely individuals take some of the biggest nerdy stories and then break them down. Joining me at the table today, we have...
Whitney Moore, and I'm gonna be talking about some of the Dan Harmon, Doctor Strange news that's been floating around.
And over here on my left, your right, we have...
Hello, I'm Filup Molina. I'm gonna touch on that really cryptic and super exciting Deathstroke video that Ben Affleck shared on Twitter.
I'm very excited. I'm Sam here, right here in the middle. I'm gonna be steering away from the superhero news for just a second. Thank you. To talk about some NASA experiments that just came to an end that make my skin crawl. Before we get started, 2 little pieces of business. A little surprise for you guys. Mr. Filup right here is joining SourceFedNERD full-time. That's so freaking cool! We need applause. Thank you.
Come on.
We're getting a couple applauses.
That's a forced applause.
No, we're excited. We just made the team a little bit bigger. Filup, really quick, what do you like to talk about? What are you into?
Oh man, my big stuff, probably Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Marvel. Oh man, I love Batman. I love everything.
All the stuff.
Sam, big fan of Sam.
Thanks,
Sam is not going anywhere, by the way,
we're
just
not.
because I'm also a male. There's no
The
issue.
team's just getting bigger. Now we're the trifecta, the holy trinity of SourceFedNERD. Maybe some could say that. Don't know if anyone will say that, but it's very exciting. Filup, thank you so much for joining.
I'm
we got
really excited,
Whitney,
yeah.
we got Filup, and you got this old person in the
Sam.
middle that is probably the youngest out of everybody. But yes, and also one little other piece of business. Spoiler warning, there's a sign for it, because obviously we're gonna be talking about movies that are coming out, and there's a chance we could be talking about spoilers. Don't yell at us in the comments down below, but to kick it off.
Ruin your good time.
Right?
No.
To kick it off though, Filup, what you want to talk about today?
Okay, easily biggest story of the day, and it happened right first thing in the morning if you're checking your Twitter feed.
So cool.
Deathstroke, the Deathstroke footage that Ben Affleck himself dropped on Twitter today. So a lot of places are reporting that this might be footage from Justice League, which is like, whoa, since when is Deathstroke gonna be in that? I don't think so. I think it's gonna be in the Solo, the Batman movie that Ben Affleck himself is directing, and I'm crazy excited for.
And that's what the Wrap is also reporting, is that it's
As
probably
of
the
now.
Batman.
Yeah.
It's probably, but also they have no clean link to Warner Brothers, so we
no
don't
one
know.
knows for sure, but it's probably too many things if you put it in Justice League, but it's perfect if you put it into the Batman movie. If you guys don't know Deathstroke, by the way, he recently became really popular because of Manu Bennett, right, in the Arrowverse. He was easily the best part.
Yeah, best season of Arrow is with
Yeah.
Deathstroke. Yeah.
And every time he comes back, it's like, oh, he came back too many times, and I love it every single time. He's like the anti-Batman. He has basically the same training, League of Assassins background and stuff, but instead of choosing to fight crime, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be a freaking assassin.
And he also has a little bit of a superpower. He does have the super healing, he
Yes.
has a healing factor.
Oh.
So you can shoot him real
Deathstroke's
bad.
so cool.
He's so cool.
Not real bad, you can shoot him pretty bad.
Yeah.
He's not Deadpool.
He can be shot real bad
Yeah.
and come back from it.
It's
so.
on his trading card. He gets shot real bad,
bad.
it's fine. What is really exciting about it is, for me, entry into the League of Assassins in the DC Extended Universe. Damian Wayne could possibly come in. That's Batman's son, who has received training from him. So that'd be
He's a
pretty
real
cool
bad
thing.
dude because his name is Damien.
Yeah, anyone named Damien, don't be offended in this, but you might be evil. But here's actually my favorite thing about it. This is gonna be the best fighter we've ever seen against Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shots fired at Bane, right there. Bane is also trained by the same places, but he basically is like Bat Break, and that's it.
Yeah, he's just a big guy.
Yeah, this guy is an amazing, amazing fighter. Batman is one of the best fighters on the planet. That, just those fight scenes alone. So here's my pitch. I think the movie is gonna be about assassins getting hired to take out Batman.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's similar to the Arkham Origins game, which is a fun premise. I don't think the game did it justice, that whole premise of the idea. But also, what is fun is that Deathstroke himself, by himself, has taken out the entire Justice League one by one.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, funny though, he can take out the entire Justice League. Let's remind people where he actually came from, though. His initial story
Is Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans
He
villain.
can take
That's
on the
right.
entirety of Teen Titans, but he can also take on the entirety
They
of
made him
the
far
Justice
more
League.
violent in
Yeah.
later comics, but originally he was like the bad guy against the kids. Like,
Yeah,
he was the
so
angry
it's
old man.
Adorable.
You meddling kids. Aw.
So our big question here, obviously, is who the F is gonna play this guy. This guy, Julian Lewis Jones, he was an actor from Invictus. A lot of people were like, oh, it's gonna be him because he was announced to be added to Justice League and nobody knew as who. It was gonna be a mystery character. I don't think so. I have my guess, and my dream casting is my guess. But I will have that question for you guys at home and for you guys up here. Who is your dream Deathstroke actor? Or actress.
If they're going for like, he's gray haired, and so I would love to see like a super buff Jeff Bridges.
Ooh, get buff like how blanking on his name, J.K. Simmons got buff. Did you remember the picture of him at the gym?
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh, he was already buff. He was buff already.
Yeah.
I love that idea. If you definitely take the idea of Ben Affleck being an aged, grizzled Batman, and it's like,
I just want to see a bunch of old men fight.
He can't lose like
That's
the
your
mustache though and beard that are like gonna peek out of the mask.
Sometimes in the comics, Deathstroke does have like a little bit of, so you could have a little bit of gray if you would like.
That's
but,
intense. That's like a real like intimidation version.
Yeah,
of that.
I feel like Jeff Bridges can be really scary.
Oh, that one little eye peeking out of that eye hole with an eye patch. Jeff Bridges with an eye patch.
That's pretty sweet.
All right, here's my pitch. It's very short, and he's already played the role before. Ron Perlman, because he also has the look. He is terrifying. He's formidable just by standing in a room. You're like, God, all the eyes are looking at him already. Like he exudes power, and he was Slade on the Teen Titans animated series. He's very good in that. So I think he would be the best. But I have also fan cast Ron Perlman as Swamp Thing.
I was about to go
a bunch of other guys because he's just so good. He could also be Etrigan if they throw him into the Justice League Dark movie.
He kind of looks like that
like a
already,
Jason Blood, which would be
minimal
cool. Yeah.
makeup and stuff.
He will always be Hellboy to me, though.
He will always be. Yeah.
He can't not be.
Okay, here's my guess and also my dream casting, so please make this happen. Make it Matt Damon.
Ooh.
It would just be Matt Damon as an assassin. We know that goes really well. If you saw the recent Bourne movie, the guy is still jacked, but he's an amazing actor, right? So that side is there. And then Matt Damon versus Ben Affleck.
I love that, yeah.
Come on, give it all the money.
We have very different answers,
Yes.
and I'm excited to see if there's an in-between for when they actually announce it.
All of them.
Out of your guys, it would be, for the fanboy in me, I would love Matt Damon. But for just pure interest, I want to see Jeff Bridges because he played
for sure.
He played the another evil Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie. So he's been a part of this before. But imagine if he put on like that costume and everything with like
so cool.
with the swords and the guns and everything. Like Matt Damon could obviously pull that off because he's done all that in other movies.
Yeah.
But like, could you imagine Jeff Bridges?
Two very different kinds of casting.
Almost can't though. I'm almost like he's a little bit like, we want me to do what? No, thank you.
Well, of course he's not going to be in the thing. Like they just CGI his eye in there, but it's like some 20-year-old son actor that's doing all the rest.
That guy has Jeff Bridges' voice. I like when you said Jeff Bridges, and for a second I thought Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Imagine Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber Jeff Daniels.
I can't. I don't think I can imagine that.
Imagine that look, but he speaks like Jeff Daniels from the newsroom. Like that's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like beautiful speeches that we have to like sit through for 2 hours. You guys should let us know in the comments though who give us a better answer than any of ours.
And write a good pitch. What kind of story do you want to see Deathstroke
Ooh.
have in the movie? Because we have had League of Assassins and Batman Begins, but it wasn't like anywhere near.
Right.
It was a toned down, lighter, easily consumable version. But
Why
if
don't
they
you write
went
some
full,
different fan fiction, not just Sam and Maud fan fiction?
Who's Maud?
you can find out. You can watch some of that fan fiction over at Geek Bomb. But okay, story 2. I want to talk about. This is not superhero, so prepare yourselves. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
It's NASA though, so it's space.
Ooh.
So get ready. I'm very excited. So there was this year-long experiment that NASA was conducting called High Seas over in Hawaii, and it involved 6 scientists volunteered to go into a 36-foot by 20-foot dome for 12 months. And the only way they can communicate with the outside world was with email, and it was a 20-minute delay because apparently that is the delay. This was meant to simulate what it would be like to be on Mars. So there's a 20-minute delay of sending signals to and from Mars and Earth. So that's the only way they can communicate with the outside world if they can't really request anything unless there's an actual real emergency that they need to get out of.
And then they get a team of miners to like fly to it.
Of course, and then they blow up the little.
They blow up Mars, and
Yeah, they
then,
blow up
yeah.
Mars. But it's very cool. For previous experiments that were similar to this, they'd only done 4 months to 8 months. So this is the longest one to date. They were also able to go outside if they needed to, as if you were to go explore the Martian surface. But they could only do it if they wore space. Like a space suit, and then they could come back in. But they were documenting the entire experience. Each one of the scientists had cameras, but at the same time, they're being put through the ringer. They were given, they had power outages, they had tools breaking, they had and also they must have been maybe fed hints. I can imagine reality TV. They're like, okay, now go fuck with that other guy. You're like, come on, just see if it adds a little drama. Like how bad could it get for that whole year?
You just made me so excited for reality shows on Mars, like Big Brother
Just give
Mars.
it 10 years. Give it 10 years. But now today they've left. They started last year.
They got their marching
on this
orders.
day, and they have now left, and they are I bet they are very happy to be
Yeah.
able to leave. But it did give us a lot of data, interesting data about what it would be like to live on the Martian surface, to be completely isolated like that. And it got me thinking. That's gonna lead to my question for you guys. I don't know if I could handle this. I would like to pretend that I could. And I remember when people were saying, "Oh, if you want to go to Mars, you can sign up through this service and see if you can become a candidate."
Don't trust anything that's like,
No,
you
exactly.
want to go to Mars? Sign just right
sign
here.
a form.
Just social security number and your credit card. Don't even put your name down, and we'll be good.
We'll carry you out of this room.
Yeah. But I thought about it, and I was like, I can't last a week. But then we started talking about how they're like NASA sleep experiments that everyone sees on Twitter. They're like, you could get $17,000 if you lay in a bed for a year. And it's like, people are like, oh, sleep for a year? It's like, no, do you understand what you're getting yourselves into? So my question for you guys.
Muscles atrophy,
Yeah.
bed sores, not fun.
Here, that's a
already
fun
my
thing for
life.
you kids. Go ahead and Google bed sores. Have
No,
fun with
don't.
that. Go ahead and Google that. But question for you guys, and for you guys, how far would you go to be a part of a NASA experiment? And if there's a limit, what's your price tag? How much can they push you?
Well, first, I feel like the things you're describing all sound like scams. like, hey, you there? You like NASA? It's like, no, maybe. But if it's like legitimate
A man with a
NASA
mustache
yeah,
on the corner,
exactly.
he's like,
Yeah,
hey, kid.
Yeah, NASA. So if it's legit NASA, would love it. I was a science major in college and English, and science, but the science part was always like I always wanted the closer to the futuristic side of it, like which you can't major in futuristic science in college, so I couldn't do that. But I love that idea of like going out into space. I want to live 1,000 years. I want like them to do all the experiments on me. So I'm not down with bed sores, but I'm definitely down with like. Shoot me out there, like give me like a dog to play with or whatever sometimes.
A cool AI that doesn't have access to weapons.
That won't murder me or something. Maybe I'd be interested in the whole like, I don't want to do the survive by yourself, but I mean, there's the whole like, hey, could you repopulate the civilization like on a different planet?
Just you and the AI. There you
Yeah.
go. That's
while the dog
challenge.
watches.
Yeah. I think the experiment, the dream one I had was I brought up the AI because that would be mine, is that I would like how long a person could live with an AI, like how like you are in isolation, so it's you and another thing, but how far could you go? What
There's
would the
a
effects
great
would be?
Twilight Zone episode about that.
Which
Have you
one?
seen?
The one where the guy has to go to Mars because he's a criminal and they give him
Oh, yeah,
a
you were
robot
talking about this.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he falls in love with her and then he's like convinced she's real. Great episode.
There's
very,
also
very
Ex
sad.
Machina,
Oh, of course.
which turned out so well for that guy too.
Yeah, that everything worked out in the end for that movie. Spoilers. What about you? Would you do the sleep experiment? Like,
Not the sleep experiment. I don't want all my limbs to atrophy, but I feel like a lot of the isolation stuff I'd be good with as long as there's Wi-Fi. Anything, if there's internet, especially if I'm allowed to stream it or like somehow like have contact with people. But you know, I've spent a week by myself voluntarily just on the internet, so like.
but you
why
have the
not?
internet. In these scenarios, you do not have the internet.
If there's no internet, no dice.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't even do Earth with the no internet.
But here's the pitch, though. $50,000.
For how long?
Let's say 6 months.
In isolation, $50,000.
It's not that much money.
No, that's not that much
$100,000.
money.
$100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. You do it? $100,000?
$150,000.
$150,000.
$200,000.
No, $200,000. 300. $1 million. And it's only a week. There you go. Yeah. No internet. Can you last a week without the internet?
That's it. We forgot all of the NASA parts. They're just
do
studying, taking away Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We should do a short on that. We should do a real experiment.
That'd be fun.
SourceFed tries
I'm
to
down.
last without the internet.
Okay, but if it's a competitive, right there, that changes everything. You don't have to pay me anything. I will go the longest without Wi-Fi. Like if you guys want to see us do it, we will no Wi-Fi. I don't know how we'll do any of this news coverage, but no Wi-Fi, no sleep, and we have to repopulate the Earth.
In a week. And we're all in isolation. So,
If there's a competitive element we can add in.
Yeah.
Who's the best at it?
And last thing, would you guys ever go to space?
Hell yeah!
You would?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, thank
we
God.
have to at some point.
Yeah, I just had to make sure that everyone.
Would you?
At the time. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. As soon as Virgin Galactus kid becomes a reasonable price, I'm going in that damn.
Galactus.
Yeah, Galacticus.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactus.
Yeah, that's the one. But whenever that plane that goes into space and lands is available for normies, I'm getting on that plane.
Here's a tip: go on the second one.
Go on the
Third one. Maybe,
when they're like really got all the kinks, like figure it out.
Yeah, hey you there, boy! NASA's here with an unsinkable ship into space.
Awesome.
Don't do it.
So that's it for my question answer down below. And last story of the day, throwing it to Whitney.
It's me, and I'm gonna talk about Doctor Strange and Dan Harmon. So I am a
fun
huge
combo.
Dan Harmon fan. I know, two things. Love right off the bat. But if you don't know already, last week we learned that Rick and Morty co-creator and community creator, of course, Dan Harmon, is being brought on board to write some additional scenes for the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. Yay. I'm pumped about that. Before you get all sus about Doctor Strange being doomed because of reshoots, know that most major studios at least allow like a week for reshoots.
At least.
Additional,
Yeah.
at least. That's like a thing that's written into their schedule already, so don't worry about it.
It always seems like a bad thing when you hear that because sometimes like a rumor or two will come up. It's like no. You don't always nail it every single time you shoot something, so you need to go
People
back.
lost their shit when they found out that Suicide Squad was like shooting extra scenes, and it's like sometimes you also test it with an audience and find out that you want to bring it in one direction.
I'll say pay a lot of attention into the One Direction. That's what they reshoot for. Just insert One Direction for no reason. Pay a lot of attention to who they bring in for reshoots too. It kind of gives you like what the movie needs. If you're bringing in Dan Harmon for a reshoot, that's a real good place like where your movie's at, where it's like, look, our movie's legit. It's action-packed. Good story. Now let's make it like a little funnier.
Yeah.
It's like awesome.
And
That's perfect.
I trust him so much with sci-fi and fantasy in general. He's so smart
He's a big
about
fan.
that. Yeah, he's a fan like us. He's us and he's so funny.
Bring a little Rick and Morty in there, wouldn't
Oh my god, just sneak him in. So now we're gonna get into
Tiny Rick.
some potential spoilers. So close your damn ears if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Spoiler, plug
but
them.
on a recent episode of Harmontown, of course, Harmon's podcast, he was talking about a potential community movie, and he pulled up a bunch of documents, and that's when a Redditor actually by the name of Bifrost5, Bifrost, spotted a document entitled "Strange Confronts Dormammu." Okay, if you guys don't know who that is, Dormammu is a magical demon boy who practices dark magic. He's metal as fuck, and we love him. But
Make sure you have a little picture of him if you want to look at him right there.
there
Look
he
how
is.
cute he
He's
is.
such a cutie. So my question for you guys is: do you think that Dan Harmon really like messed up and somebody really caught something, or do you think he was goofing us? Because I kind of think that he was pulling a goof.
Is this a goof?
I don't think. Okay. So everyone thought that Mads Mikkelsen was gonna be Dormammu in this movie, and he's not. He's Caecilius, and he has those disgusting eyes that I can't look at.
Oh, that's
Have you
so
seen
cool.
them?
Yes.
No, they're
Awesome. I love
amazing.
it.
They're amazing effects, and I'm so impressed by them. And I will never look at them because I get like weirded out, not by eye stuff, but like crust.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like crusty.
It's like his skin
Just
is
the
like
word
peeling back.
crust is
Yeah,
already
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, unless it's pizza. That's it. Yeah.
pizza.
And even there, it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
But Dormammu is like a classic villain of Doctor Strange,
yeah.
but usually it's also Baron Mordo, but they're doing something different with that character in this movie, which I'm excited to see what they do. But I think it's a goof. I'm going with a goof because all Dan Harmon, because he's very in tune with like the fan community, all he had to do was look at somewhere and just name a file. It could have been anything, and he just says da-da-da-da-da.
And he
it was
puts
easy.
Easter eggs in everything he does.
Right.
So I feel like he knows that people
Right.
are watching obsessively everything he does.
Now, I'll put it out there. Is it going to be in the post-credit scene? Are we gonna get a little like, fine, I'll do it myself, but
Yeah.
it's Dormammu?
I bet if
would
we-
like that. I'd like for him to be in the movie. I mean, I would not. I'd be very
Give
pleasantly
me the
surprised.
demons.
Give me the demons. I want the demons.
Like a D.
Yeah. But I would. I think that we will probably already get a reference to the character because, duh. If you know anything about Doctor Strange whatsoever, that's just a popular character in his canon. So we're gonna get him anyways, and it's probably just be like, you know them.
By the
And
way,
that's
this
about it.
guy-
Yeah.
I hope it's more than that, actually. It's like, we can't hear the movie.
Everybody's whispering. It's like you can't yell the magic. You gotta whisper. And then he like bends New York into a pretzel.
First mumblecore.
Yeah, I like an
superhero movie.
indie.
But I'm very excited, especially that Dan Harmon's hopping on because I love. Community has always been a little hit or miss with me, but Rick and Morty,
Best show ever.
Yeah.
Just the best show. Sorry.
fucking good. So I'm very excited for Dan Harmon to hop in there. But wait, are you feeling goof? You feeling no goof? You
Oh
feeling goof?
no! It's legit
goof?
like messing with. He's not gonna have like a big battle against him. I definitely don't think so. But I think there definitely is gonna be more than Mom, like a little whisper. I think we're gonna get a little bit more than that. Either way, though, I think Dan Harmon is basically gonna, almost like the way the Lego movie, has like, oh, there's a little bit of an action story there, but it's mostly funny. It's like, let's, pull some of that out and inject into this. I know he didn't work on that, but that's his thing. He can tell a really good story while still entertaining.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna make it a little funnier.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Throw a few jokes
Yeah,
in there.
excited
it's a Marvel
for it.
movie. They're known for that.
I'm
And that-
already the most excited for Doctor Strange out of any
Yeah.
of the upcoming movies.
Just had a realization. So it's Dan Harmon writing, Benedict Cumberbatch speaking the words. That's an amazing
That's a
match.
pretty cool
there.
combo.
Yeah.
And
Sherlock, Dan Harmon. Yeah.
one day. One day,
Yeah.
like that. And I'm very excited because this movie has such an amazing cast, and I just want it. You want it to do well, damn it. You want it to be good.
I think it's,
It's
gonna,
gonna
be,
be so good.
really good because it
Yeah.
sounds like they're taking a lot of chances and they're ready to make it weird. And I love it when people
weird.
make it weird.
Get weird.
My
But that's it
favorite
from
things.
us. That's it from us. We want to hear from you guys. What's your little question?
My question is, do you think Dan Harmon's pulling a big old goof on us?
Oh, Goof Troop. I'm wondering, what would you do for NASA? How far would you go? What's your price tag?
Yeah. Deathstroke. Who's he gonna be played by?
Who
You
is
tell
he?
us.
Who is he? Write
Who's
your
gonna be?
thoughts down below. I'm very excited to hear
Yeah,
what you guys have
keystrokes
to
for
say.
Deathstroke. Let's get him. Yeah.
Okay, goodbye. Oh, be sure.
And we're out of here. Yeah.
Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. It's called the call to action. Ever heard of it?
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, follow us on Twitter. Damn it, what's your Twitter? Filup.
At Fimo. I think it's here.
Right here. It should be right
At
here.
Fimo.
Be nice to
Filup.
it.
Yeah.
What are you?
Franly Filup. It's tweet me more, already.
You
It's up
know.
there.
And mine's my name. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow with more nerd news. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for being nice to me in advance.
Be nice to him, God damn it. He's a good
Bye.
boy.
Bye.
Good boy.
And lastly, it's time for Flash News, the best damn segment of all time. 1 second. Ow. Bam, we're ready. Let's go.